The next video is called the $90 Mount. This is by Pirate Software. Again, lovely guy. You should go check it out. Subscribe to him, all that stuff. Don't subscribe to me. This is stupid. This entire channel is stupid. Not this channel. The channel you're going to watch this video on. Come watch me live doing Mephisto movie reviews. Go check it out. Description down below. Blah, 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 blah. Pirate Software, $90 mount. Let's see what Blizzard has cooked up for us.
Let's get into this $90 WoW mount. I think Blizzard has been putting together a lot of goodwill. They've had a lot of goodwill, and then they did this. This sucks, dude. Like,
Okay, let me introduce you to this. This mount used to be 5 million gold, as in gold, the currency inside WoW. And the benefits of this particular mount was that it is the largest ground mount that you could possibly get in terms of size. B, it has an auction house and a store. So whenever you needed an auction house or a store, you didn't have to go to the major cities. You can just pop this thing out wherever you are in the world and just sell your wares. Anybody who was making gold just to make gold, because there are gold farmers, legit. I don't mean like companies that are shitty, that are selling their gold. No. People who love making gold inside the live server games, they own this mount, and it made their life way easier.
I get it. People are going to buy it. I've already seen people buy it. And the reason they're buying it is because it's exactly like the old Longboy mount. However, it also has a mailbox on it, which makes it infinitely better.
Okay, so the old mount did not have a mailbox. So you could technically post a lot of auctions, but if some of them got sold, you did have to go to a mailbox to go and get them. I didn't know that. The new mount has a mailbox, so literally it's a mount for gold farmers. By the way, you can make a lot of gold inside the game, then buy the token, and instead of using the token to buy game time, you can use it to have in-game credit on your BattleNet. Account, which means if you make enough gold, you can literally buy this. I don't know how much a token is in terms of how much gold you need to produce to make one token now, but one token I think was around $15, $13. This is a $90 mount. So that means you need around 5 tokens worth, 6 tokens worth of money. That's not a lot of money for gold farmers. So if suddenly they didn't have the Longboy, now they'll probably have it.
Problem with this is the original Longboy mount is 5 million gold, and it was a status symbol for everybody that found a way to farm gold back then, which is kind of useless now because you could just use a WoW token in order to go and get their Longboy mount. And now someone can buy this.
By the way, you can buy a WoW token and get money, but somebody has to produce that money. The producers of that money, gold farmers.
For the cost of more than a AAA game and a half. This is not going to breed goodwill. It is going to make a shitload of money. I've already seen a ton of them in towns, just an insane amount. Even people in my own raid have them. It is egregiously low value to me. It's a $90 mount inside of a video game. This reminds me of Star Citizen. You're buying an in-game car. You're buying a collector's car. That's what that is. It's a shitload of money for no reason. You could just
The thing is, a mount like this, specifically this, that can do wonders for anybody who technically is a gold farmer. So I'm logging into this game. All I'm doing is trying to get, unique items, trying to get stuff that people want because it's a skin and people pay gold for this skin or pay gold for material or pay gold for whatever because they want to raid, because they want to whatever, look swaggy. Million different reasons why people buy stuff off the auction house for gold. However, people who own that, who don't gold farm, that's it's essentially a very expensive skin. Just like Fortnite, you buy skins, whatever.
Literally, I just walk to the auction house and I get it. Man, I could get to the auction house just right here anytime. Cool. You do the same thing with the longboy mount that already exists in the game and use the mail whistle to be able to.
The problem is, like, they took off the longboy. You couldn't buy the 5 million longboy at a certain point. I think they took it off. It doesn't exist anymore, as far as I know. If they returned it, then if they returned it and you can still buy it, then it's stupid. But if you cannot buy the longboy anymore and you haven't, had 5 million gold at the time, then you're screwed.
Summon a mailman.
By the way, for you guys who were on the stream that saw who saw the back end of the channel, I made 3 million gold back in the day, and it was enough to buy one expansion worth, which was around $60, $59, plus enough gold to buy tokens for a subscription for a full year. And that was just 3 million gold before the expansion where you can actually buy that longboy for 5 million gold. And it took me about 19 weeks. And I did a terrible job, but I did do it.
Man, it's the same shit, but they put it as $90. I don't think this should exist. I think that if you want to have mounts in a video game, they should be cosmetic only. And I think Blizzard's gone down a really weird route now, where they've now added a repair guy, an auction house, and a mailman, all under mounts. And because of this, you have this really weird problem where now you have functional mounts and you're selling one for $90. This sucks. Like, it sucks. You're carrying a city with you. I think it takes away from the game as well, because one of the things that was kind of cool before is you had to go to the vendor to go and do this shit. You had to go to the auction house and actually see it, and you could see other people. You could go to the transmog guy and you see other people. And I think the thing that's important about that is you're playing an MMO. When you start creating isolated monoliths like this that split people away and make it so they don't need to go to towns, you start having the same problem that we had before with garrisons, which is, well, I don't need to go back there anymore. I'll just buy the $90 mount and I just use the auction house from anywhere. That sucks, dude. It takes away from the game, and it's also going to make Blizzard look bad. I just can't condone this move. I understand it's going to make a shitload of money. I understand business-wise, this is going to make them bank. But, like, I'm not about it. I think it's gross. I find that today...
The problem with Blizzard is they're losing customers and they're losing people playing the game. And they're squeezing as much as humanly possible out of World of Warcraft before it ends. And the people who are playing it right now, I don't think they're playing the main. Well, some of them do, but like the player base actually did split into the classic, the hardcore classic, the live, the everything, which is fine. Everyone gets their version of the game, which I think is great, and it did Blizzard wonders. And they haven't went into classic because they didn't want to split their player base. However, if you keep enough player base playing, and you have just as many servers as you did in the live, because you had to shut down a few of the lives to make for the classic, you keep people playing, and they jump from one to the other because one subscription covers all the different facets of the game. Just kept that money machine going. The problem is when you do stuff like this and you isolate people, they tend to gravitate to a certain type of play, which people avoid, or people who love the game for what it was, avoid. And then they go to classic stuff or hardcore classic, and they eventually fall off, like me, where there's just not enough there to keep you going.
We have such wide reach as game developers. We can reach so many different players around the world that when you start trying to ramp up the prices to such an egregious level, in reality, what you're trying to do is you're trying to milk the last out of all of the whales that are left on your platform because you're not making as much money as you used to. It is a losing strategy. It will alienate your players. It will lead to lost money overall, and it is not gaining you anything. I remember when they first started introducing WoW mounts, like $15, $20, something like that, and it's more than a month of game sub. And you have to think about, is this going to actually give you good value? The only ones that I can ever agree with that Blizzard does are the ones where they're like, hey, buy this battle pet. We're doing a charity drive. And when you
I didn't like that charity drive. Hey, Scotty boy. We're talking about our favorite subject, Blizzard.
buy this battle pet, we give the money to charity. That's a phenomenal move. I think it's a great way to build goodwill inside of the community, do really cool shit, and give a reward to people in game. I like that. This is not only like just greed, like in a really negative way. It's just straight up greed. Like, hey, let's
Greed is good.
sell something, sell a map.
I mean, this is overly exaggerated greed, which is terrible.
For $90. But on top of it, the item itself represents that greed because it's covered in gold and has an auction house on it. It's just like the most egregious bullshit that I have seen them release in forever. And I just can't back.
This is not something new, Thor. This is definitely not something new. You've been to Blizzard. You know.
It, man. Like, a lot of really cool stuff went into that patch for the 20th year anniversary. The new raid stuff is cool as shit. I think it's phenomenal. But like, this is dumb. If you are one of those customers and you do think you're getting good value out of it, I hope you enjoy them out. And I know there are going to be some content creators that'll...
Dude, like I said, gold farmers will salivate for this. However, most established gold farmers that started way back in the day, they already have a long boy. You know what's crazy? They would probably buy that mount too because for them, Longboy is really good. It just doesn't have the mobile mailbox, which means they will grind enough money, which would be less than 5 million gold, which I don't know how much WoW token is. Definitely not on the US and not on EU, but I bet you $90 is less than 5 million gold, which means less than a Longboy. Again, I think the Longboy does not exist anymore, or you cannot buy it. But I haven't played since July of 2021, so I don't really know. It's just off of memory.
It'll be like, you're a piece of shit, people should spit on you, whatever it's going to be. Right? Like, there's always takes like that. I can't get behind that. If you think you're getting good value out of it, awesome. For me, I hope that there are less people that think they get good value out of this kind of stuff. I hope that the business turns away from these types of things. And I will always work every day to ensure that anytime I touch anything that has microtransactions, that those things with microtransactions are cheap, because that's what they should be. Microtransactions, not more expensive than a AAA game. It's insane to me.
Cannot agree more. Cannot agree more.
Scrolling through the trash, can't believe my eyes. Worthless vids, man, no surprise. Stupid thumbnails, faces all deranged. Looking for gold, all I find is strange.